In the recent years of the biopic genre, alongside Christopher Nolan's acclaimed Oppenheimer, another stunning masterpiece that has captivated audiences is Ridley Scott's Napoleon, starring Joaquin Phoenix. The film focuses on the protagonist Napoleon, who is a legendary figure that rose from the social bottom to ultimately conquer the European continent. Like a lion in the wild, Napoleon is characterized by his short stature and his iconic triangular hat. Don't underestimate Napoleon and his distinctive hat. Once the battle begins, his military talent is truly astonishing. As the emperor of the First French Empire, he is not even French by birth. He was born on the Italian island of Corsica, which was then a colony of France. The movie opens during the French Revolution of 1789, marking the fall of the Bourbon monarchy that had ruled France for centuries. The Republicans sent King Louis XVI and over 10,000 of his supporters, including the last Queen of France, Marie Antoinette, to the guillotine. The Queen was accused of 3 major crimes: embezzlement of the treasury, conspiracy to undermine national security, and treason. Amidst the heckling of the crowd, the Queen ascended the guillotine, where her head was severed by the blade. In the distance, Napoleon, the artillery commander from Corsica, was already ambitious and striving for a higher position, and his battle to become famous was about to begin. At that time, Britain, part of the anti-French coalition, had occupied the port of Toulon. Nearly half of the French fleet was trapped there, and the loss of Toulon dealt a severe blow to the French Republic. In this critical moment, Napoleon stepped forward.
And how do you propose to take the hub? Capture the fort that dominates the harbor, and you have the city.
He was tasked with recapturing the fort and the port, ensuring that royalists and the British could not occupy French territory. Napoleon conducted a comprehensive reconnaissance of the Toulon battlefield and discovered that while the city seemed impregnable, it was not without weaknesses. If he could seize the high ground in the southwest and 2 towers, the British fleet moored near Toulon would fall within range of French artillery. However, he faced a dilemma: he lacked both trained soldiers and artillery. With no other option, he quickly trained artillerymen and gathered scrap metal to forge cannons. Once everything was ready, he launched an attack on Toulon under the cover of night. As explosives buried beneath the walls detonated, several cannons opened fire on the city, catching the enemy off guard and causing significant casualties. Napoleon personally led the charge but was struck by a cannonball and fell from his horse. Covered in blood, Napoleon became enraged and charged up the city wall, fighting fiercely. He soon captured the high ground and set up cannons there. With several cannons firing together, the British fleet was completely exposed to the firepower, having no ability to retaliate, and hurriedly fled Toulon that night. This was the beginning of Napoleon's glorious life, the Battle of Toulon.
Captain Napoleon Bonaparte, I award you the rank of Brigadier General. Long live the Republic! Long live the Republic! Long live the Republic! Long live the Republic!
I promised you brilliant successes, and I've kept my word.
After the battle, the public began to oppose the reign of terror led by Robespierre. Robespierre advocated for sending all members of the counter-revolutionary forces to the guillotine. His brutal methods led to the deaths of countless innocent people, resulting in social panic and instability.
You are not a defender of freedom. You have deemed yourself judge, jury, and executioner. Have you not? You're worse than Caesar! Worse than Caesar! You are all of you, the traitors! Arrest him!
The guillotine, my friend.
On July 27, 1794, the Reign of Terror came to a complete end, and 41,500 prisoners were released. Among them was Josephine. After her release, she prepared to return to her former estate. The streets were desolate, lacking the lively hustle and bustle of the past, filled instead with signs of chaos and disrepair. Upon returning home, Josephine surveyed the scene before her, realizing that the glamour and splendor of her former life were long gone. As she ascended the staircase, she saw her two children. At a survivor's banquet in Paris, Napoleon met Josephine for the first time and was instantly captivated by her beauty.
Why are you staring at me?
Am I?
Yes?
I was not.
Oh, you weren't.
I was.
The next day, Josephine's younger son approached Napoleon, asking for the return of his late father's sword. By law, civilians were prohibited from holding weapons. However, upon learning that the boy was Josephine's son, Napoleon made an exception, retrieving the sword and personally delivering it to them. Josephine's husband had been executed during the revolution, and she had lost all her possessions. Once an aristocrat, she had fallen to poverty but leveraged her remarkable looks and social skills to become a renowned socialite. At this point, although Napoleon was a junior officer, she sensed that he would achieve great things in the future. Thus, she instructed her son to approach Napoleon to request the sword as a way to establish contact. For Napoleon, who was solely focused on warfare, it didn't take long for him to be completely enchanted by Josephine. On October 5, 1795, a royalist uprising occurred, and Napoleon was appointed as the second-in-command to suppress the rebellion. Faced with the rebellious forces, Napoleon did not hesitate and decisively ordered the cannon fire. The streets instantly turned into a bloody scene as the rebels fled in all directions. With power in hand, Napoleon quickly married Josephine, and the two signed their marriage certificate. In July 1798, Napoleon led a grand expedition to Egypt. By this time, he had already defeated the coalition of Austria and Sardinia. The first coalition against France had been shattered, and Britain emerged as France's main rival. Napoleon believed that to defeat Britain, he first needed to occupy Egypt. As a result, the government appointed him as the commander of the expeditionary army to Egypt. Having just gotten married, he was forced to be separated from Josephine, relying only on letters to express his longing. Meanwhile, he channeled his feelings for his wife into cannon fire directed at the enemy. However, Josephine did not reciprocate this passion. She married Napoleon mainly for a stable life. So, when Napoleon repeatedly invited her to the front lines to reunite, she remained indifferent, even neglecting to respond to his letters. While Napoleon was away, Josephine indulged in revelry without restraint. When Napoleon heard rumors of his wife's infidelity, he initially did not believe them. However, upon seeing the newspaper reporting her affair, his heart shattered. Without regard for the charges of abandoning his post, Napoleon hurried home and threw out Josephine's belongings. But Josephine was not the type to back down easily. She sobbed and begged for his forgiveness. Seeing Josephine's tearful eyes, Napoleon quickly softened and forgave her. Though his romantic life was tumultuous, Napoleon was a genius in military and political matters. The original intention was for the Directory to ask him to explain his dereliction of duty, but instead, he turned around and questioned the 5 directors.
Who should be responsible for her governance while I'm away? I have returned to France to find her bankrupt, printing money that is spent within hours. The Austro-Russian overrun of Italy, the Anglo-Russian occupation of Holland, and what appears to be the imminent invasion of France herself. And yet you accuse me of desertion, added to which the discovery that my wife is a slut.
Then Napoleon left nonchalantly, leaving the directors bewildered. The corruption of the government made many eager to act. Director Ducasse proposed that they use Napoleon's military force to launch a coup and seize power. As a result, the 5 directors were coerced into signing their resignation letters.
Citizen Moulin, we have a letter of resignation for you to sign.
This is outrageous! I shall save my business before you catch me!
On November 9, 1799, the coup of 18 Brumaire occurred, with 3 directors taking control of the government, and Napoleon was one of them. The members of parliament understood that it was Napoleon who seized power through his formidable military strength. Chaos erupted at the scene, and in the midst of the confusion, Napoleon, small in stature and quick in movement, managed to escape the crowd. His brother seized the opportunity to take action, immediately mobilizing troops to control the situation. Under the shadow of the guns, no one dared to oppose him.
Stand aside. Shall we vote?
Amid the cheers of the public, Napoleon became the first consul, walking through the crowd with Josephine.